Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're talking buy now, pay later loans. And I just saw this absolutely insane statistic. Let's check this out right here. It turns out, we'll say so later in this article, but 25% of buy now, pay later users with like Klarna and Affirm and whatnot, they're using their loans to pay for groceries, not discretionary items, not shoes or concert tickets, groceries. But this article goes into it right now. More Americans taking advantage of financing options for essential purchases. The latest sign of mounting concern over the health of the economy. Consumers have increasingly turned to buy now, pay later services for groceries, according to data released by Marketplace Lending Tree, and most of those shoppers are paying back those loans late. One quarter of shoppers have used BNPL for groceries, up from 14% who used the service a year ago. According to Lending Tree's survey, 2,000 American adults conducted in early April. Now, 41% of respondents said they've paid back their loan late over the last year, though the vast majority have paid back the money in a week or less. Men, young people, and higher income borrowers are more likely to make late payments. Now, that 41% number, that's up 34% from last year, but the article goes on. A service that allows to pay back purchases in incremental chunks has become an appealing option for consumers interested in avoiding the risks associated with a credit card or paying interest on a loan. However, the frictionless money borrowing system may also lead to overspending and debt stacking, allowing credit card companies offering the service to jump on hidden late fees. The payment strategy made inroads among high earners seeking out luxury products, but its growing popularity may signal a shift in people's financial priorities. When buy now, pay later started, it was typically about designer handbags and appliances and things like that, Scholl said. But now people are looking at it for things like groceries and food delivery. That's pretty messed up. I mean, not that I'm like guilting or shaming anyone for using that. I know times are extremely tough, but the thought you have to like finance your actual groceries this way because you have so little left from your paycheck. It's essentially an essential service for people, but that's bad. I mean, granted, yes, if you're paying your payments back on time, you won't get in too much trouble, but still, there's a lot more downsides to that. We'll finish this article up, and then we'll get into some of the other downsides of BNPL. BNPL services offered by apps like Afterpay and Klarna have already found new footholds with consumers. Last month announced a partnership with Klarna to allow customers to delay or split up payments on food orders, all the while the loan service is still popular for big ticket purchases. Billboard found 60% of general admission ticket holders for music festival Coachella used a payment plan for the event. Festival goers could pay as little as $49.99 up front of the event's $600 price tag. The ubiquity of BNPL may indicate a growing comfortability with a financial risk, especially among younger spenders. It goes on to say, we have a gambling problem, Gen Z economic commentator Kyla Scanlon said on social media last month. We have meme coin sports betting. We have a good vice in the United States, and we do is completely frictionless, like we don't even have to put on pants. At the same time, consumers generally try to avoid risk. In times of economic uncertainty and the rise of BNPL opportunities, similar consumers interpret the service as less risky. People, man, it's really shocking the sheer level of like financial ineptitude in this country. I can't judge too much. I'm in some debt myself. I've had some trouble paying things back. I've had to rely on certain means I've had to take out loans to pay things back, but I always made the payments on time. You know, you get medical debt, you get credit card debt. It's a real nightmare. You can only do so much about it, but you know, I never take advantage of this BNPL thing. I stay away from Klarna. I just know myself, my spending habits. I know I would get in a lot of trouble with it. I would be like upside down on some Chipotle burrito or something like that. It would just be a real mess. But, yeah, despite it not helping shoppers build credit to help them down the line financially. We're getting to that in a minute. With the current economic backdrop, expect these loans to remain popular, Scholes predicted. I don't think there's any reason to believe that this is going to do anything but increase, he said. Okay, so that's his take on this. But I got some numbers here. You know, I got some numbers, some downsides. I got a handful of these talking points here. If I can share them with you, talking about BNPL loans, they can encourage overspending. BNPL makes purchases feel cheaper than they actually are because you don't get paid the full amount up. You don't pay the full amount up front. This can reduce the sense of financial friction that normally keeps spending in check. People often end up buying more than they can realistically afford as a result. Late fees add up quickly. They market the loans as interest-free, but late payments can trigger steep late fees. Those fees can compound if you miss multiple installments. Some providers charge additional penalties or account reactivation fees. This can make what look like a no-cost loan surprisingly expensive. Not all providers report to credit bureaus until you miss payments. Many BNPL services don't help you build credit because they don't report positive payment history. However, missed payments may still be reported to the credit bureaus or sent to collections. You can hurt your credit score without gaining any of the benefits of traditional credit products. Multiple loans make it hard to track debts. Because BNPL splits purchases into smaller installments, people may take on several plans at once, sometimes across different apps. This makes it easy to lose track of due dates, total outstanding debt, overall financial exposure. A $40 installment here and a $25 installment there can snowball into a serious cash flow problem. BNPL integrated at checkout means less comparison shopping. Traditional loans require research and underwriting. BNPL is a single button at checkout. The convenience leads to less time evaluating whether the purchase is necessary, less price comparison, more impulsive financial decisions. Refunds and disputes can be complicated. Refunds often move slowly because they must pass through both the merchant and the BNPL providers such as DoorDash or Afterpay or Klarna. Not DoorDash, Affirm. I don't know where I got DoorDash from. You may still be charged installments during the dispute. BNPL companies may not offer the same protections as credit cards, e.g. strong chargeback systems. This can tie up your cash for weeks. BNPL is also loosely regulated depending on the country. Regulation hasn't caught up with how fast BNPL has grown. Consumers may lack clear disclosures about terms. Some providers aren't required to run hard credit checks. There may be fewer protections compared to credit cards or traditional loans. Regulation is increasing, but it's still uneven. Now, it can create, the last part here, it can create a false sense of security. Zero interest or 4 easy payments signals no risk, but behind the scenes, BNPL is still a loan. It reduces future spending power. It commits you to payments even if your circumstances change. Providers often use behavioral design to encourage more borrowing. Now, we're going to get into this here. It's a video from YouTube talking about these buy now, pay later loans. We're going to get into that. It's from a guy named Grant Rudow. Let's check it out. Gross. Okay, this video starts out with kind of a testimonial, one of these TikTok videos, this woman talking about her buy now, pay later loan experience and why she likes it so much.
I paid $25 that day, and then the pair of shoes show up at my apartment 3 days later. The shoes are $25. Why do I care if in 2 months I have to pay another $25? I don't know me 2 months from now. She can deal with that.
Buy now, pay later is a short-term financing option that is offered by companies like...
Basically, that's kind of silly. Kind of like this low time preference crap where you don't worry about yourself in the future because it feels good now. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to go into a big deep dive about like this kind of psychology infecting a lot of young people's brains. It's just like, screw it. I want my satisfaction now. And for all the reasons we listed, this could compound issues. She could be paying late fees. This could affect her credit. This could be causing trouble for her, with debt stacking and whatnot down the road. They don't care. Give it to me now. This is the quintessential American consumer experience. Screw it. I don't care about the future. Give it to me now. But let's let Grant continue here.
You'll typically see these options pop up on e-commerce stores, offering you the ability to buy what you want today while deferring your payment over a certain number of installments. So if you're looking to buy a new suitcase for a trip you have coming up and it's going to cost you $300, instead of paying that all today, you could buy the suitcase today and then split the $300 across 4 equal interest-free payments. And you might think, great, interest-free. I can just sign up for these payments and then worry about paying it sometime later down the road. But it's not quite that simple. These buy now, pay later programs aren't necessarily technology. In fact, buy now, pay later programs are kind of a newer, modernized version of the old school layaway programs that you would see at stores like Kmart and Sears.
Okay, let's move ahead a little bit. He kind of compares these buy now, pay later loans to having a credit card. It's a little inaccurate. He states that these Affirm loans, you don't need a credit check, but you actually do need a credit check. But he kind of compares it. There's some, he makes some interesting points here.
For your purchase in the moment. Additionally, as we discussed, credit cards can accrue interest if not paid off by the end of the month. And that rate can be at crazy high rates, usually around 19 to 23%. On top of that, if you're late with your payment or you miss a payment, credit card companies can also add on late payment fees that just end up waterfalling you into insane amounts of credit card debt off of fairly simple purchases to begin with. And on the other hand, buy now, pay later offers 0% interest, which sounds great, but that all depends on if you actually pay your payments on time. If you don't, you'll be subject to late payment fees that can range anywhere from 2 to 15 all the way up to 25% of the total value of the purchase you made initially. And with all that... Yep. But now
that's a good point here. There's plenty of risks. There's plenty of downsides involved with kind of stuff. And just thinking how many people are dependent on this, how many people are missing their loans or missing payments on their loans. It doesn't bode well for the economy. But here he gets into how these things work. And I think he does a little bit better of a job explaining it than I could have.
Actually make money beyond
How they
just
make money.
charging that host them on their website. First, like we just discussed, they're going to collect that merchant fee, which is anywhere from 4 to 6% of the transaction price. Second, they profit from late fees, like we talked about earlier, which has turned out to be a pretty substantial revenue source for companies like Affirm and Klarna, because 1 in every 3 users of these buy now pay later programs actually ends up missing a payment at least once. And third, every purchase that is made reveals something about you or your shopping habits, and
That's a big
these companies
one right
have
there.
realized that that is very valuable information for other brands. So they actually harvest a lot of the data from your checkout pages and then sell it to other brands that can then use it in their marketing or in their ad target. And finally, they benefit from the sheer volume of loans being opened up by packaging yours and everybody else's debt together and selling it to larger financial institutions.
Sounds like a mortgage-backed security to me.
They can make money even when you pay on time. In other words, they've created a system where they win no matter what happens.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff. But here he goes on to talking about how these are exploitive. But yeah, excuse me, they're going to extract value from you. They're going to extract money, capital, whatever you want to call it. They're going to get their money from you one way or another. I mean, I can't imagine like trying to finance like a $30 Chipotle order or Taco Bell or whatever order and having to go to collections over it and having to ruin your credit over it. But Americans just are that financially irresponsible. Look at the people Caleb Hammer has on its show. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy.
By splitting the cost over a longer period of time, your brain actually registers less financial pain than paying the full amount up front. Second, they trigger what is called the temporal discounting, which is our tendency to value immediate rewards more than future benefits, or otherwise known as instant gratification. Pay just $25 today and it's yours sounds a lot better than waiting and saving up for it. Third, they will create artificial urgency by simulating limited time offers in the checkout page. And finally, they use colors and shapes to direct your eye exactly where they want you to be looking. Have you ever noticed that the buy now pay later button is often highlighted in a brighter color, and it's sometimes even pre-selected when you reach the checkout page? These aren't accidents. These are specific design decisions to short circuit your brain to making a financial decision more on an impulse than with rational thinking. Instead,
Yes, that's how it works. I've fallen for it before. I haven't done these kind of buy now pay later loans, but the way they design these websites, everything is designed. These people are experts at doing this thing. Everything is designed. Everything you interact with is designed to sell you something. It's designed, every service you use online, they want you to pay a premium price for it. The app's on your phone, the way it is, like just the way they have the intrusive ads on these apps, just like you click off of them, it sends you somewhere else. You know, they want you to pay for the service. They want you to pay for this, pay for that. They're grabbing your data up. It's a mess. It's a mess. I know I say that about everything, but yeah, just the way people, you know, Americans are very impulsive. We're an impulsive culture. We want to do what we want to do what we want to do. We want instant gratification. We want to, you know, stave off like disappointment and everything like that. You know, everything Americans do, it's geared that way. And this whole system is designed to basically exploit you essentially and to get your money and to, you know, to play to your most impulsive instincts over and over again.
Payments of $375 instead of paying the full $15 up front. Again, not a necessarily terrible thing when looked at in a vacuum, but when you expand this to consider that someone who's financing a burrito is also probably financing a lot of other things, that's when the real problem starts to arise. Bad spending habits like this lead to what we call loan stacking. Pretty much what it sounds like, taking out loan after loan after loan and stacking them on top of each other. And because buy now pay later programs make it so easy to do so, most consumers don't even realize how much debt they're actually accruing. In fact, in 2022, 63% of buy now pay later borrowers had more than one loan going at one time. And this is where it gets really scary. Because these programs are designed to offer credit with little to no approval process, it's almost like they're targeting people that don't know how to manage their money. All they see is, oh, I can buy this $1,000 thing for $250 today, and they just click buy. When in reality, over 69% of buy now pay later users are already in debt on another credit card. And 28% of buy now pay later borrowers are between the ages of 18 and 24 years old. Most of these people don't even understand the concept of how a credit card works, and by giving them this buy now pay later option, it's almost like they have this unlimited stream of money that never needs to actually be paid off. Again, don't get me wrong, there are definitely some advantages to the system if you know how to play it, but the vast majority of people using the system are not taking advantage of it. They are just getting taken advantage of. So what?
Yeah, very true, very true. But that's a very good video from Grant. Like and subscribe to his video, please. Grant seems to be a very nice guy. But yeah, it highlights the issues of this. It highlights these kinds of problems here. But this, I kind of saw this on Reddit. It kind of broke my heart a little bit, but let's get into this really quickly. Okay. Let's just go over this real quick. Anyone else using buy now, pay later for groceries? This is posted 4 months ago. I finally reached the point where when I get paid, I've got nothing left after the weekend as the bills and rent get paid, and I'm just playing catch up from the weeks before. Struggle is real, and as lucky as I can be for services like this, it really sucks to wonder if I'll ever get denied one day when I need it most. This guy, Hog Farmer, says, please go to a food pantry. I volunteered for years at one. You are exactly who we love to help. Any money you don't have to spend on food is another bit of wiggle room in your budget for other necessities. Might not be an option. For example, I'm not at below state poverty guidelines, close, but nonetheless, it seems like all the food pantries in my city require that per weather websites. I wish I could get just $100 a month in assistance to make things less unbearably tight, unless I'm missing some loophole where the papers you sign don't even make it to jobs and family assistance of the state. I don't want to get in trouble. So, yeah, there's a lot of people just, like a lot of these services, like I applied for food stamps before I got denied because I made too much money. I just happened to get on Medicaid because I wasn't making a certain amount of cash. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like a lot of these government services require you to be below a certain level of income. It's like only if you're really, really bad off. I mean, like really bad off. But you got to be thinking people making $40,000 a year, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. Those people right now are struggling because rent's going to eat up half your paycheck, not to mention how expensive groceries are, not to mention vehicle loans, trying to buy a house, trying to do whatever. It's crazy, like how many people just you're not making enough money to live, but you're making too much money to qualify for these programs. It's kind of crazy. I know it's a struggle, and I'm sorry you're going through a hard time, but not buy now, pay later is a dangerous road to go down. If I were to go that route, I would do it one time in order to stock my house with 2 months worth of food, focusing on staples like dried beans, pasta, rice, sauce, baking mix, spices, bowling, and canned goods, frozen veggies, and a few family-sized packages of meat that I'd separate in individual servings before freezing. So yeah, there's some good advice in there, definitely. But overall, these loans seem extremely predatory, it makes me nervous thinking about this kind of stuff, It's something a lot of people get trapped in. I don't know about this kind of stuff. I really don't know. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you use buy now, pay later loans? Are you in any debt? Do you want to talk about it? Let me know down below. Other than that, you can like and subscribe to this video. Thank you very much if you watched this long. I really appreciate it. But that's going to do it for me. I'll talk to you guys later.